Are you dreaming of seeing a kiwi bird in New Zealand but not sure where to look? You're not alone. In this video I'll show you the best places in New Zealand to spot them, from wild night tours to conservation sanctuaries. The kiwi bird is New Zealand's most treasured icon, and this is the only place on earth you can experience them up close. So let's dive in and find out where you can meet these rare little legends. So before we go into the details, here are my top 10 places on where to see kiwi birds in New Zealand. Number 1, Auckland. Number 2, 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃 Kiwi House. Number 3, Rotorua. Number 4, Pukaha or Mount Bruce Wildlife Centre. Number 5, Kapiti Island. Number 6, Zealandia, Wellington. Now we go over to the South Island, and the first one is Willowbank Wildlife Reserve in Christchurch. So for number 8 we actually got 2 places in Franz Josef, the West Coast Wildlife Centre, and the Okarito Kiwi Tours, which is about 30 minutes drive from Franz Josef. Right in Queenstown is the Kiwi Park. And last but not least, Stewart Island, right in the southern tip of New Zealand. Firstly, let me tell you why being able to see a kiwi bird is such a big deal. These birds are unlike anything else on earth. They can't fly, they're about the size of a chicken, and yet their eggs are massive. The egg weigh up to 20% of their own body weight. It would be like a human mother giving birth to a 20-pound baby. That's just the start. Kiwi birds have poor eyesight, so they rely on something that's quite rare for birds: an incredible sense of smell. Their nostrils sit right at the tip of the beaks. At night they shuffle through forest floors, sniffing out worms and insects in complete darkness. Have I mentioned that they're also completely nocturnal? That means they are busy at night and spend most of their daytime sleeping. And here's the magic part. Kiwis are actually living fossils. They've been around for millions of years, outliving many other species that have disappeared from the planet. So being able to view a kiwi in the wild is like stepping back into ancient New Zealand. So let's have a look at the conservation centers in the North Island. So now we covered the key locations, I want to go through the individual ones. There's a key distinction between kiwi sanctuaries and wild kiwi tours. So let's start with the sanctuaries first. Here is Auckland Zoo, obviously very easily accessible because most people will arrive into Auckland. The second one here is the 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃 Kiwi House. That's very well located between Auckland and the Waitomo Caves, so you can actually visit that on the way. Often people go Auckland, Waitomo and then to Rotorua, so that's a really good opportunity for you. The key distinction here is that the kiwi birds are nocturnal, meaning they're actually nighttime active. They're sleeping most of their time or during the daytime, so they are placed into so-called night houses. So that's your chance to see the kiwi birds during the daytime in their night environment. The next one is in Rotorua, the Kiwi National Hatchery Experience, which basically is a conservation program where kiwi birds are raised before they're released into the wild. So that's another great opportunity because most travelers will go through Rotorua. So the next one is Pukaha, which is towards Wellington. So this used to be called Mount Bruce, but this is a beautiful place. So if you're traveling towards Wellington and head over with the ferry, this is a magnificent place to visit. There's also, beside the kiwi birds, others like the kaka, the mountain parrot, you have the kakariki, the other parrots, and the New Zealand pigeon. So there's a lot of wildlife here. Very special bird, the kokako. So if you're into the bird life at all, this is a must-see place. If you're passing through Wellington and maybe stay a couple of nights, then Zealandia, which is just on the edge of the city, is another really cool place to visit. Not only kiwi birds, but also other birds like the takahe here, a very distinct New Zealand wildlife. Quick pause. If this video is helping you planning your New Zealand trip, please hit the subscribe button below. I have loads of more videos to come and you don't want to miss them. Also, please tap the like button below. It really helps our channel to grow. Thank you very much. Now let's head down to the South Island next. So if you arrive into Christchurch, then Willowbank is a really cool spot as well. As you can see, people can walk, especially for families, and see the kiwi birds right in front of them. They also have a breeding program here, so it's very educational as well. Look at these little chicks here. So Willowbank, which is on the outskirts of Christchurch, next to the airport actually. Now we're heading over to the west coast of the South Island, and here you have the West Coast Wildlife Center, and they're also running backstage tours. It's a breeding program as well. There are different kiwis, smaller ones, the little spotted ones. So this is another great opportunity to combine other activities with a kiwi house visit. The Kiwi Park here in Queenstown is one of the easiest places to access the kiwi birds. It's more or less right in the center of town, and it's perfect for families if you want to fill in a couple of hours to see the native New Zealand bird. Right, we covered the sanctuaries where sightings are guaranteed. But what if you want the real deal, spotting a kiwi in the wild? So next up, I'll show you the best guided tours and remote locations where you can actually step into the forest at night and hear and perhaps see kiwis in their natural habitat. So now it gets interesting because we're heading into places where you can actually see the kiwi birds in its wild habitat. So the first place I want to point out is Stewart Island. Stewart Island is obviously a wildlife paradise. It's more or less a national park, the whole island. So there are a number of different operators running kiwi tours. So one of them is Beaks and Feathers, the other one is Real Journey or Over Island Tours. They all run them from orbit, from the main village on the island. And yeah, it depends obviously on the season, it depends on the weather conditions. Sometimes they're cancelled, but this is one of the best places to go out to see the kiwi bird in its wild habitat, either near the village or on a place called the Neck. If you go with Real NZ, they run these tours more or less every night. Now here's something most visitors don't realize. New Zealand has 5 different species of kiwis. So the location you visit in New Zealand will determine which particular species you may actually see. The most common kiwi is the North Island brown kiwi. This is the kiwi you're most likely to encounter if you're near Auckland or in the Northland region. If you're traveling further south, you come across the southern brown kiwi, which is mainly found in Fiordland and Stewart Island. On Stewart Island, this is the heavyweight of the kiwi world. The females can grow up to 4 kilograms, that's almost 9 pounds, and they're much bigger than the males, up to 55 centimeters or 22 inches for the females. One of those hidden treasures is Okarito, not only for the kayaking, the lagoon, but also for the Okarito Kiwi Night Tours. This is a very special kiwi bird. It's a very rare bird, and there's one operator, very small scale, and he's running those night tours from Okarito House. As I mentioned before, it's about 30 minutes drive from Franz Josef, but this is truly a wildlife experience you will not forget. Now here's a location most people are not aware about. It's 𝗬𝗂𝗃𝗃 Island. 𝗬𝗬𝗃𝗃 Island is located on the western side of the North Island, not far away from Wellington. But what you can do here is either do a day trip, but you will not be able to see the kiwi birds because they're obviously night active, but you can actually do a guided tour and an overnight stay on the island. So this is something for really nature enthusiasts which really want to go deep, because it's a sanctuary like many islands in New Zealand. They're predator free, pest free, so they do run those tours overnight, and you get the full experience, not only the kiwi birds, but like the tuis, the pigeons, native pigeons, the kakas, and so on. So this is a truly underappreciated wildlife tour in New Zealand not many people know about. So here's how to choose your Kiwi Experience. If you love adventure and don't mind late nights, pick up the wild option. Stewart Island and Okarito are your best bets. If you're traveling with kids, want guaranteed sightings, or are interested in the conservation story, choose places like Zealandia in Wellington or the Franz Josef Wildlife Centre on the west coast of the South Island. So there's lots to remember, but don't worry, I've put all the booking links in the description box below, plus a downloadable comparison sheet to help your planning. So now that you know where to find these incredible birds, the next step is really fitting them into your overall New Zealand itinerary. That's exactly what I'm covering in my sample itinerary playlist up here. You can also download it from the description box below. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video.